Hello, I'm Damon Bailey from IELTS Whiz. This video is an introduction to IELTS listening, where we will look at the test format and all the different types of tasks you may get during the IELTS listening test. The IELTS listening test takes approximately 30 minutes. You're allowed an extra 10 minutes at the end of the test to transfer your answers from your question booklet to your answer sheet. The test is broken down into 4 sections, and the content of the IELTS listening test is the same for both the IELTS academic and IELTS general training tests. In section 1, you will listen to a conversation between two people set in an everyday social situation, such as a conversation in an accommodation agency, and answer questions about what you heard. In section 2, you will listen to a monologue, which is one person speaking. The listening will be set in an everyday social situation. For example, a speech about local facilities or a talk about the arrangements for meals during a conference. In section 3, you will listen to a conversation between up to 4 people set in an educational or training context. For example, it could be a university tutor and a student discussing an assignment, or a group of students planning a research project. In section 4, you will listen to a monologue where one person is speaking on an academic subject, such as a university lecture. During the IELTS listening test, the passage you hear will be pre-recorded. And the further you go through the test, the more difficult each of the recordings will become. Section 1 is the easiest, and each section after that gets progressively harder. A variety of voices are used during the listening test, so you may hear different accents. During the IELTS listening test, there are 40 questions in total, and you should listen carefully because each section is heard once only during the test. At the beginning of the test, you will start by listening to a recording of instructions and a sample question for section 1. It is only in section 1 that there is a sample question. So how is the listening test marked? Each correct answer receives 1 mark. The test is not negatively marked, so you should aim to never leave an empty space. You might as well take a guess as you might get it right. The table below shows the approximate band scores based on the score out of 40. To get band score 9, you need to get 39 or 40 questions correct. For band score 8.5, it's 37 or 38 questions correct. For band score 8, it's 35 or 36 questions correct. And you can see it keeps going further down the IELTS band scale. So how can you improve your listening score? Make sure you practice listening to English regularly. A great way to do this is to listen to radio programs that are delivered in English. Here are some examples of websites where you will find English radio programs you can listen to. There's pbs.org from America, bbc.com from the United Kingdom, abc.com.au from Australia. Something you can do to further improve the quality of your practice is to make notes on the main points in the listening. This ensures you are concentrating fully, because in the listening test, you only hear the recording once, so you need to stay focused. Be sure to listen to different accents when you practice, as a variety of different accents are used during the test. Make sure you are familiar with each of the different types of tasks you may get during the test, and that you practice each of the different task types. When you do practice tests, look at the questions and try to predict the kind of information or word that you are likely to need for your answer. Practice identifying key words in each question. Then think of synonyms or similar phrases for these key words or phrases that may be used in the listening. This is important because usually the words and phrases you hear in the listening will be expressed differently from the words in the questions. You should be continually looking to expand your vocabulary, as the more English words you know and understand, the more likely you will be to improve your score. Always answer every single question and never leave a blank space. During the listening test, a variety of question types may be used. You could be asked to do any of the following: answer multiple choice questions, label a plan, map, or diagram, complete a table or a flowchart, complete sentences by filling in gaps in the sentences, fill in a form or set of notes, give short answers, or do a matching task. It's important to be familiar with and practice each of these different task types. You will have access to a wide variety of different listening lessons and practice tests when you purchase the IELTS Whiz Band Score Booster online course.